Hi everyone, we're Meeples Abroad and today we're going to be looking at Don't Turn Off the Lights. It's a fun, light-hearted game for 3 to 6 players, brought to us by Transman Studio. Let's look at how to play.
Okay, so when we open the box, the first thing we need to do is separate out 4 types of card. We have these big cards, these are the monster cards, let's put those there. We have some player aids, we'll give one to every single player, which conveniently tells them what they're going to do on their turn. We have the light cards, we can think about these as lives, and we have the general deck. Okay, so deal 5 light cards to every single player, and make sure that they are lights placed up. So this counts as having essentially one of your 5 lives. Give one to every single player. So in this game, we're going to have, let's say, 3 players. Okay, next, deal every single player 2 cards. 1, 2, 1, 2, moving around the table. You are now ready to begin. Okay, on a player's turn, it's made up of 2 phases. The first phase is the monster attacks phase. And at the start of every single turn, a monster is going to attack. And the first monster that's coming out is this one here. What's important to have a look at is how many lights each player must have on in order to escape from the monster this time. So in order to escape, I need to have 3 lights on. And you can see I have 5 lights on. So all is well in the world. All I need to do is now turn off one of my lights because I successfully evaded the monster this time. This light is not out of the game, it's just temporarily switched off, and I will be able to turn it on again later. If, however, later on in the game I'd had a few lights off, and I was presented with a situation where I start my turn, the monster's attacking, and I must have 3 lights on, but I've only got 2, unfortunately, the monster has succeeded, and I would actually permanently lose one of the lights from my lineup. That would go into the discard pile. Okay, so if the monster successfully attacks, we will actually then swap for the next monster in order to attack the next player in a few moments' time. If the monster had not attacked, we'd have kept the monster where it was. That was phase 1, the monster attacking. Now for phase 2. In phase 2, we start by drawing a card. So I now have a hand of 3. And next I take my action. And I have 3 possible actions that I can play. I can either, 1, turn one of my lights on, thus making myself a little bit more safe if and when the next monster attacks. My second option is to turn off one of the other player's lights. And although this might seem a little bit mean, only one of us is going to make it through until morning, and I want that person to be me. So I might turn off the person to my left's light so that they may or may not be consumed by the scary monster on their next turn. The third option is that I can play one of the cards from my hand. Now, let's have a look at some of these cards, because the cards have different effects. So, for example, this card here says, every player, including yourself, must turn off a light. This card here, the Night Owl, says that the Night Owl guards you from any monster attacks. This effect remains active until another player uses their turn in order to take away this card. So, lots of sort of usually like good effects for yourself, or maybe not so good effects for those around the table who are also trying to make it through the night. So you can play one of your action cards. It's worth pointing out at this point that there are a couple of types of action cards which are played at different times, not during your action. If you see a card with this asterisk just here, then you can actually play this card at any time during the game. Now, often that means playing a card right before a monster attacks either yourself or another player. And if you see a card which has the exclamation mark symbol, something a little bit like this, then it must be played straight away at the moment that this card is picked up. So what that means is, if after the monster's attacked, and when you draw your card, you draw a card with an exclamation mark, you are forced to use that for your action, which means you don't have the choice of turning on one of your lights or turning off somebody else's. You must play the exclamation mark card. And play continues clockwise around the table. Gradually throughout the game, lights are being turned on and off, but largely being turned off. Lights are dwindling, which means you are less safe and safe from the monsters which are going to attack. Some monsters might only require 1 light, others might require 2 or 4 or even 5 lights in order to see them away. The winner is the last man standing, the one who makes it through until morning. This is the only survivor and the winner of the game.
Don't Turn Off the Lights is a super fun card game that can be picked up in no time at all. It comprises fun, colourful artwork and packs away into a small, neat box. Perfect for taking out and about. There's a lot of enjoyment to be had from the game that is really suitable for all ages. But be careful, there's a lot of backstabbing to be had in this game, so you won't necessarily come out the other end as friends. We really liked it. We're Meeples Abroad. Until next time, bye!
Bye!